Frances Cress Welsing. Dr. Welsing, you were talking about the papers that went in to make the new book.
Papers.
The ISIS papers.
Well, I started with the Cress theory, as I've said, and then a number of ideas came to me as a result of the Cress theory. And so I wrote about those various topics, and they ended up being symbolic dimensions of the system of racism or the system of white supremacy.
So once you did the ISIS papers, kind of, as you might say, opened the floodgates for many other ideas on whole nother level.
Right. But I never thought, well, I'm going to do a book. I would write papers and present them to my colleagues in psychiatry at the National Medical Association, which was a black medical association.
What would be their response?
Well, they would find it interesting. Maybe everybody didn't find it interesting. Maybe people said, oh, well, I don't know. I mean, people many times don't come to you with their negative ideas. But many people were interested. And I ended up being one of the people that you'd have large numbers of people coming to, if I was going to present a paper. People would look at the program, and a lot of people would come to hear the presentations. But over time, there were a number of papers, and so Third World Press, Haki Madhubuti, encouraged me to, why not put them together in a book? And I was not, because the papers were never written for a large number of people. I thought the ISIS papers or the Cress theory, I thought about 8 colleagues. I'm going to present my ideas about racism to 8 colleagues in psychiatry. And then it turned out a lot of people became interested. And I had no idea that a large number of people would become interested in the essays that evolved from that. But a large number of people have become interested in Third World Press. Published the ISIS papers at the end of 1990.
Now, they published the Cress theory before that.
No, they didn't. I published the Cress theory.
Oh, you published. Didn't they publish excerpts from the Institute of Positive Education?
Oh, well,
it's interesting because and that same issue, because I had the magazine. They sent it to me some time ago. But interestingly enough, excerpts from the ISIS paper, from the Cress theory are in there, and I did a poem in the same issue.
Oh, I see. So what year was that?
Oh, I really don't know, but I know.
Isn't that interesting?
And then I meet you years later.
I see.
I did a poem called Ebony Lady. It was in the same issue, and I remember about 2 weeks ago, I was looking at that old issue, looking at something, and I saw excerpt from the Institute of Positive Education did publish in their Black Books Bulletin. And I was in the same issue as
some of the papers.
Right.
Okay, and then
the Cress theory, matter of fact, was in there.
I don't know whether the Cress theory was in that or not. I don't think so.
I remember.
Well, okay.
I can bring the issue and show you.
I know certain of the other papers were
and I found that very interesting.
So that's fascinating that it's coming together.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, wow, this is something. And I'll have to get that and show you to you. It's really quite interesting. Oh, that was like some years ago.
Right. Yeah. We've been at this for a long time.
Yeah, well, you've been doing this more than 20 years.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So the popularity of the papers, of the first paper, which is the ISIS paper.
The Cress theory.
The Cress theory.
A lot of people became interested in that.
Develop a following?
Well, I'm not looking for a following. I'm trying to help people understand a phenomenon that has caused great distress and great pain, and if we understand it, we can change it. So I wasn't interested in a following per se, but a lot of people have told me that the Cress theory changed their lives, and the people who have read the ISIS papers. I can't go anyplace, can't get on a plane. Maybe the stewardess will come up, aren't you the lady who wrote the Cress theory or the ISIS papers or something?
How does that make you feel?
Well, I'm always surprised. Because it wasn't, if I were an artist or, a pop star or something like that, then I would be trying to impact or have people, Dr. Welsing, but that was not where the ideas came from. So I'm always impressed. Oh, people do understand. Or somebody does understand. Because again, my point and my priority is that if there is a problem on the planet, then responsible people will say we must help solve this problem for the well-being of the majority people on the planet. so that everybody can live at the highest level of being humane or being human beings. I mean, that is the objective. At this point in time, we have the mass obscenity of death and dying and starvation and war and murder. I mean, I consider that to be a great, 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 great obscenity. And we cannot say that we respect human life, or we cannot say that we respect the planet, and having human beings killed and destroyed at this level. So I believe that a group of people will come forward, individual people who will participate in solving this problem. People like yourself, you're writing all the time about problems and trying to impact the thinking of people. And I don't think this is for naught. I think that, things take time. It takes time for a baby to be born.
That's true.
And it will take time for ideas to change, or for you to reach a critical mass of people who have new thinking. Do you see? The new thinking being planetary justice and planetary peace. And so I hope that the things that I've written will, participate in achieving that objective.
I've shared your book with many friends, and the friends have said to me, well, this is too heavy. I can't read it all at one time. I have to read a little bit at a time and then come back. But I think it takes a while for some people to adjust to it, because they haven't found people.
See, it's a new way of thinking.
A whole new way.
It's a completely new way of thinking about a problem. So it takes time, but I am impacted. I'm invited to speak on college campuses and at universities, as well as other places. But it moves me almost to tears when, I'm not a person that is breaking down and crying, but when somebody says, well, young black people are not reading. But when